Hey, yeah, what's poppin', gang? All right, man, listen. There is a ton of conversation around this J. Cole, The Fall Off album, man. Whether you are extremely excited, whether you don't want nothing to do with it, whether you're still trying to decipher Disc 2, Track 2, if you're listening to it in forward motion, if you rewound it backwards and you're listening to it that way, or there's so much conversation around this, man. And honestly, I think it's great. I think it's a great time to talk about these things, man. Rap has been amazing, and we're just continuing to get more. Now, Joe Budden and the Joe Budden podcast seem to think, or at least that's what I think the title entails, is that they seem to think that there might be some Jay-Z and J. Cole smoke. Now, if you're taking the lyrics at face value and you're not really fully encompassing what this song means, or how it's meant to be heard, I could see how you would think that, because I thought that. Actually, let me go back to that. I had this queued up. I want y'all to see this. These are my thoughts.
On cloud 9, now signed to my hero, one of the so-called kings of this rap thing that I swear to usurp.
One of these so-called kings of this rap thing that I swear to usurp? First time I heard it. First time I heard it. Is that Jay? No. That's not. Run it back. That's not Hov smoke, is it? Run it back. That's not Hov smoke, is it?
Hearing the chirps of naysayers who only days later I don't care to convert. On cloud 9, now signed to my hero, one of the so-called kings of this rap thing that I swear to usurp. Decade later, mama cut on the cable.
No. It's in reverse. So he got signed to his idol, basically, and he was saying in his head at that time that he was gonna be greater than him. Those are not Jay shots.
Kings of this rap.
All right. Now, I wanted to play that from the beginning, because if you didn't take into perspective the way the song was written and what you were supposed to take from it, and you just left it there, I could see how you would think that. But within seconds, that's something that I caught. So let me hear what Joe Budden has to say, because we also have Rap Latte that have their opinion on it as well. I kind of want to see what they're talking about too. So do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate the love. Hit that hype button, all that. Let's get into it.
On cloud 9, now signed to my hero, one of the so-called kings of this rap thing that I swear to usurp. Decade later, mama cut on the cable, my motivation to be greater.
Yeah, I'm rolling. So you didn't have to so-call.
You didn't have to.
You ain't have to so-call.
And wait, before we do this, let me let y'all know that for me, in my head, top of the conspiracy list is I wish I knew what was going on between J. Cole and Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm. Right, but I get it, but I also get it if you're trying to spin a narrative too, right? And also the way I take that so-called thing is basically the way people always have that discourse about who's the best and who's not. Right, so like you may have Kendrick, you may have J. Cole, you may have Nas, you may have Jay-Z, you may have MF Doom, you may have any artist, right? And I also took that as him saying like the so-called, one of these so-called kings, right? Like it's a conversation that people are always having. So I kind of took it as that. It could be that too, but most important, I definitely think it's him in that period of his mind getting signed and saying, I swear I'm gonna be better than him. I swear someday I'm gonna be better than him, right? But if you're also trying to spin a narrative and think that there's this beef or this clash between Cole, we just don't know, right? They haven't done a ton of music together. We just don't know.
Been saying that forever. Yeah. These are two brothers that are holding it down in terms of whatever happened.
Yeah, solid is solid.
It could be nothing happened, but boy, are they holding it down, and boy, do I wish they would stop.
But that's the dope. But that's the dope shit. Let's say nothing happened.
Right.
You wouldn't know, and that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. I don't know if anything happened. It might just be every rapper starts off wanting to be signed to someone, and then once they start getting a lot of money and accolades and all that shit, they no longer want to be there. The guy that signed the dude don't want to let you go because you're making me a lot of fucking money. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's really that deep. I don't think it's probably venom, but they probably had a butting of heads at some level. I wouldn't be surprised if they did anyway.
And then also, like, there are things that would tip your thoughts into thinking like something like that could happen, because if I'm not mistaken, I think Cole actually ended up having to buy back his masters and all of that stuff. And I don't think that really, I don't think he loved that, having to do that, because I think he said it was a crazy amount of money. But again, I don't know if that would be the rift between the two.
It happens every single time.
I agree with that part, but I also look at like just the lack of them doing shit together. I think that could play into it. If I'm Cole, I'm signed to you, I'm your understudy, I'm XYZ, and come on, nothing really.
They did when he was still signed to him, but they haven't since he hasn't been signed to him. So
They
at
did
that point,
very minimal.
And I feel like Hov worked more with Drake too, and stuff like that. And I just think maybe, I don't know what if the paths lined up for them to just get a lot of work done and really push something like that. I think there was a contrast between Hov and Drake and shit like that. Like, there's a contrast between J. Cole and Jay-Z for sure, but at some point I think it's competition on all of these records too, and I just don't know if either one of them wanted to get into that. That's just me being honest.
Very minimal.
But even back then, it was very minimal.
Hov had him on his album. That's a big deal, and he was on his first single. Yeah. That's a big deal. They did work.
Yeah, but so even when he was signed to him,
what song you talking about? You talking about back in the day?
Yes.
Oh, nigga.
He's saying that they never did.
No, I didn't say never. I did not say. I said minimal shit.
But it's not minimal if you're. Hov don't have many features on his albums, really.
I'm not saying that those earlier features were minimal. They were very important in whatever plan that they had going.
Correct. And they worked.
I just feel like if you saw the backstage shit or whatever doc that was where Hov was like the boy eating the cereal. Mm-hmm. Like, if your story starts from there, and then you find this dope-ass kid from North Carolina, y'all break all types of boundaries, y'all sell all of these, y'all do it. Y'all do it. Even if mutually beneficial is what I'm saying for both of them.
Yeah.
Whenever it ends, that's what I be saying, yo. When any business relationship ends, if it was mutually beneficial and we all happy,
there should be no bad blood.
Let's go our separate ways. Right. But yo, let me buy you a drink when I see you in the club.
Absolutely.
Let me put an ad lib on something. Yeah. Send me a record. Let me hear it. Like, it don't really closer to Pusha T.
It don't work that way very often.
But I think also you talking about Hov is just in such a different place, bro. Where like, one, I don't personally, and that might have been part of it too. And I'm saying might because I don't know, right? Like, Hov don't give a damn about what J. Cole and Dreamville and Jid and Boss and them niggas, like, he don't give a goddamn about. Hov is out here building generational wealth. Like, I just don't think he cared. I don't think he cared enough. And I don't think he cared enough, and I don't think Cole thought it was imperative enough for me to send you my record for you to give me the stamp, because I know it's lit, or I wouldn't put it out, right? I've been an understudy for enough time to understand what it takes to put out dope records, and maybe I just don't need that from you anymore. And I think, like, I don't think there has to be any bad blood, personally. I don't think there has to be any bad blood. That's not saying that there's not, because it could come out that there is bad blood. I'm not saying that there's not. I'm saying it doesn't have to be.
But I know.
But bigger than that,
and I guess I'm just disappointed. That's all.
Yeah.
But bigger than that, they both are so quiet and mysterious that could be happening, and we would still be none the wiser.
That's true.
He might have sent this nigga the whole album like, yo, I honor your opinion. Let me know what you think. We would never know.
I seen Jadakiss heard the album. I seen Jadakiss heard the whole damn album. So I'm like, if Kiss got the album, he heard it. He said that shit fire. Like, I don't know. Like, he could have sent it out. And I just think because everybody ain't on the internet, or because the problems ain't posted on TMZ or the Shade Room or wherever the hell they would be at, because it's not out there and people don't know, it just leaves you all this room to speculate, when in reality, it's probably all good.
Because they both carry it like that.
That's valid.
Very true.
until they hit a booth. Well, not Cole. Cole be holding it down. Jay-Z, if this is something,
Well, no.
we won't. This will not be the last time we've heard about so-called.
But now I'm thinking about this again. When he's telling
This is gonna be like when he did that. I'm sorry, Mark. This is gonna be like when he did that. What was that? Birdman or somebody said some shit.
Oh,
then
Baby
his
Money.
house, and then he started talking about the art in the house, and you got repoed, and nobody knew nothing. It's like,
Yeah.
it's good. Maybe I'm doing some fan obsessive shit right now.
I'm thinking about this thing also. He's telling the story backwards, right? So at what life stage is he when he's saying so-called kings?
He said, "I'm signed to my
I'm signed
hero."
to my hero.
So I mean,
so-called.
So is he just saying? I'm trying to give him look at it more
No,
generously.
if he
now.
was already your hero, then he was not so-called.
No. What I'm saying is though, is he's just saying as a young hungry rapper, I was trying to take everybody down.
There's no point in J. Cole's rap life that Hov was so-called.
I mean, Hov ain't so-called.
But and that's why I said what I said about the so-called thing in the beginning. It's like it's the other people's. That's the way I'm reading it, right? And I think it's up for interpretation because there's no rubric, there's no thing for us to go back to and say, okay, this 2 + 2 = this, or you know what I'm saying. So I think it's up for us to try to figure it out. But the so-called thing, I think, is how people view your top artists, right? The so-called king, right? Like. Your guy may be somebody else.
In the 90s.
In the 97, 98, 98.
When
So that is Joe Budden and them's perspective, and personally, I think there's some valid points here, but then I also think that there's a little bit of this. I want it to be messy. And that's kind of what I get from it. Like I want it to be messy. I wish it were messier, so we'd have more to talk about, or for us to be able to understand the inner dealings between Cole and Jay. And I personally don't think we'll get anything from that. I don't think we'll get anything from that. I think these two dudes are moving at their own paces, at their own speeds. And I don't even know if we're gonna get any more music from Hov, right? Like, and that would be dope if we did. And I do agree with Joe. If there is something going on between them and this triggered something, I could see him saying something about it for sure. Like for sure. All right. Actually, my bad, gang. Let me get into some of these comments though. So-called has nothing to do with Jay at all, and all to do with the fans. So-called has nothing to do with Jay at all, and all to do with the fans' ranking. So-called is saying Cole don't believe in whatever ranking. Okay, see, I didn't say that. So-called is saying Cole don't believe in whatever ranking system is used in hip-hop. Okay, see, I'm attributing it to other people's ranking systems. He's saying it's Cole's ranking system. Okay, that's a terrible take. He's talking about the ranking system. So I guess everybody's saying that. You guys should already know that, especially Joe, but I guess if you want beef or issues, you'll create it somehow. That's kind of my point. And I'm not saying that he's trying to create a little, because his voice does carry a little bit. I think it is a little bit of that. Let's try to, plant a seed there, so we can maybe get something out of it. Hate to be that guy, but I was wondering where we were. Okay. Because Hov always chose Dot over Cole, and it bothered Cole. And it could have been. Because I think there was a point even where Hov was going to Drake, like, give my boy a hit. Give my boy a hit. And, at some point, that shit gets probably a little annoying, too. Y'all reaching his whole verse is in reverse. The very next line is, mama cut on the tape, mama cut on the cable, meaning he saw one of his so-called kings of rap, introduced him, and consequently, Hov became his hero. Come on, it's not too hard to comprehend. Usurp, take a position or power of importance unlawfully or by force. Yes, Mark, Cole is speaking from that young, hungry state that whatever regard y'all hold Jay in. My mindset is to come through and take over. It's not a diss. Joe as a writer should know this. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it's just me. I don't think it's just the people who really read into these bars. My bad. And that's kind of one of the things why I say, I feel like when you come to, and not that's, again, I'm not taking anything away from Joe, because Joe was an incredible artist in his own. Like, I had to get reminded listening to that BET Cypher. So I feel like he knows this, but I think that's when potting, kind of takes over your brain in a sense. I think that they understand what it is. I just think that they're trying to have a conversation and create content around said conversation. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not because I feel like he knows this, and I don't think that he doesn't know this. That's what I'm saying. All right, Rap Latte. Let's go ahead and get over to Rap Latte. Let's see what they had to say about this. I think I heard them talking about this in another video, or maybe this is the first one. But let's go ahead and get into it.
All right, so I was actually watching the Joe Budden podcast, and they were talking about this.
Okay,
they brought up this idea because our boy Cole has a line where he says, so-called king of my hero, so-called king of the rap game, a so-called king. And they were discussing what a lot of people would is say that when you say someone's so-called,
right,
that can be seen as a shot.
Oh yeah.
And
would never deny that at all. Like you saying so-called king is like, damn, you questioning my spot?
To clear up this idea and kind of speak on this idea, and we'll bring it up on the screen so people could actually see this lyric, is where he goes, where he's at. And though I'm blessed, I see I'm stressing from hearing the chirps of naysayers who only days later, beautiful flow, I don't care to convert on cloud 9, now signed to my hero, one of the so-called kings of this rap thing that I swear to usurp. Now, if you think about it in this way, first I want to say this. A nigga who just put out My Delete Later, threw out a battle, then came out, then apologized it, and being mature, as you would say, I don't think he has intentions of throwing shots at Jay-Z. Like, come on.
And that's one of the things that I saw a lot of is people saying, you can't rap like this, Cole. You can't rap like that, Cole. And your opinion is your opinion. Is not. I'm not here to change your opinion. Like, I think if you have an opinion, whether you are for or against anything, I don't give rap, whatever. It's not my job to change it because that's what you have. But I don't think people were actually taking the entirety of the song into perspective and only listening to the words as they're being said and not understanding the whole scheme of the song. Because I think he said a part where he said I'm the best or getting what verse of the year or something like that. And when you're thinking about it as it's being written, because it's in reverse, it means a completely different thing. It means something completely different.
I don't think he's throwing shots at Jay-Z.
And that's what. And to piggyback off of his point, I don't think he's the first song that we hear he coming out throwing shots, knowing that people are gonna look away at it. I just don't think that that's what he's doing.
It's about how well you are. There's rap literacy, right? I think people are looking at things in a non-rap way or really in just nigga on the street type of way. On one of the so-called kings of this rap thing, I swear to usurp, is two things. If you're in that moment as a kid, I think you're saying two things here. One, you're saying that so-called king is like, are there actually any kings? That's more so of the point. There can't really be kings of this shit. You can't really be the one running all the shit.
And I think because there's never a unanimous king. There's like, if we can't decide if it's LeBron or Jordan, there's way more rappers. There's a lot more rappers that could be given the title the greatest of all time or the king, depending on whatever your preference of style is. There's way more rappers than there are basketball players. There's really only 5 basketball players. And we can't say who the undisputed king, who the greatest basketball player of all time is, because whether through different generations of basketball or whatever the style of play you like, do you like finesse? Do you like power? Do you like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's so many different things that go into deciding who the king is. I could see what he's saying by saying, like, can there actually even be any kings? I don't know if that's what Cole was saying, but I get where King Green's going with.
And he said this before. This is why I even said that. He said that I used to be wanted to be the undisputed number one guy. And after when people started telling me I was the number one guy, I realized you can't be that. Because they're still bringing up other people and it's still a conversation and all that type. And you realize that there is no top to this thing. There is no, like, you just have a shine. You have moments. So I think that's what he's relating into that, as well as one of the so-called kings of this rap thing that I swear to usurp. If you're a rapper, you're trying to, and in that moment, you're trying to get to the top. So you're like, yeah, you one of the kings? Okay, I'm gonna get you. That's what the whole usurp statement is. And I feel like that shit's implied.
Right.
But
there
is conversations and been conversations for years, Toure, about you. I know you're a Hovenger, about you and your people bringing up this whole idea that Jay-Z had a Cole on one verse on his album, and then Cole had him on the first album. They never made no music again.
Okay, so 2 songs.
But Jay-Z made music with Pusha T a whole bunch of times. Jay-Z made music with Drake.
And because Joe Budden said that too, and I feel like that's because I think that they're in different places in their lives. Like, I don't know what the age difference is with Push and Hov, or Hov and Cole, or Push and Cole. I feel like they're in like different places in their lives, bro. Their lives are so much different. It's art and trying to build casinos and fashion houses, and it's like they're just in different places, and I just don't know if they even care to be with the nigga that's just wearing, socks pulled up and, dirty sneakers.
I think 3 times. 3 times? So why he ain't make music with his own artists? That's a question that people brought. But just because you ain't making music with somebody don't mean Cole went platinum with no features, man.
2 things can be true.
That alone doesn't mean there's beef.
Right.
There could be a lot of reasons why for that. J. Cole wants to stand on his own feet and not be lifted by Jay-Z. I mean, like that.
Okay.
That's not enough evidence that there's a problem.
Right.
I mean,
that's just the conversation that's been happening.
This verse, do you think those lines don't indicate you're saying a problem with Jay-Z?
I don't personally think so.
No, they don't.
Yeah, personally,
I don't think this verse indicates a problem with Jay-Z.
So that's my question to y'all. That's my question to y'all that are watching this, right? Do you think that this verse indicates there's a problem between Cole and Jay-Z? Just plain and simple. I personally don't think so. But again, the way that it's rapped, I would only imagine that Hov would understand this as a scheme. Like I would know he would understand this and say, I see what you're saying. But if he doesn't and he takes it as a jab, I will hear about it.
There isn't. I don't think this indicates it. I think it's a very simple reading of lyrics. Mm-hmm. Like when you look at something, because another thing is people don't really grasp the whole concept of this song, like I was saying. People think that, oh, he did Rewind, Nas. I'm like, yeah, he kind of did MF Doom, Nas, and Kendrick Lamar in a song. That's more so
and
what
that's another thing, man. That's another thing, man. Like I feel like people understand things, or it's like selective understanding. Like when it came to this track, we seen the homage off rip, right? We seen Nas. We're seeing the Kendrick homage. We're seeing, like, I feel like it was even like Inception, like Christopher Nolan homage. We're seeing that. Like, I felt like it was implied that homage was being paid to Nas, to Kendrick, and not even just to Kendrick either. Like, because I feel like when with the single room shot, right? With the single room shot, when we reacted to Squabble Up, we instantly found out that the single room scheme was somewhere related to the Roots or something like that, or whatever. And then we seen the paying homage to Ice-T and stuff like that. So I feel like we're quickly able to understand when homage is being paid. But when it came to this, it seemed like he's stealing, he copying ideas. It's like, man, I thought that was kind of a part of this whole thing.
He combined a whole lot of concepts because he's sticking with the same flow pattern and rhyme scheme, which implies a cyclical nature. And what I mean by that is, like, if you read this backwards, it's a different rap song. It's more of a poetic story about his life. You hear it as that's how I see it. I'm no longer here on this earth. Then I'm no longer here on this earth. Then hands me over the doctor and I watch my spirit reverts.
I still haven't done that yet. My motivation to be greater ends the moment I peer in her purse. Decades later, mom cut on the cable, one of these so-called things of this rap thing that I swear to usurp. Oh, you can read it that way. On cloud 9, now I'm signed to my hero of naysayers who only, it doesn't work all the way. I can see what he's saying, but it doesn't work all the way. But that would be lit if you could rap the song forward and backwards.
Explain, mama gives me my name. I would watch my father walk back in my life and clears up a hurt. I'm reading it back this way and it still works.
For the most part.
It feels more poetic, but it still works. The flow still completely works when you're reading it backwards. So it's telling you that the reason why I made this structure is so your perspective of the things I'm saying changes depending on how you look at it. And that's what his point is about the song. The point of the song isn't, I told the story backward. That's why some people are like,
that part I'll push back on slightly because I don't think the entire song works that way. For instance, on Cloud 9, now signed to my hero of naysayers, who only days later I don't care to convert. But I feel like at this part it would work, right? So of naysayers, only days later I don't care to convert. And though I'm blessed, I see me stressing from hearing the chirps. Bank account thin and income streams nowhere near as diverse. Fast forward through the years of rehearsal, losing, winning. It all begins with encore cheers from those wearing my merch. Like, it does work in a lot of parts of the song. Like, I have to go through the whole thing and see, but I don't know if it works completely that way, specifically because of this line right here.
Oh, this doesn't have a climax. Every movie's not supposed to have a climax. That's your ability to read what the intention of the writer is.
Right.
This writer doesn't want to give you a wound up, beautiful ending.
And I'm with that too, because there's movies that are slow burns. There's a lot of music that is kind of here, and it's intentional. It's intentional. I don't think everything has. We was just talking about T.I. and his ability to give you the verse, hook, verse, hook, done, right? Every artist doesn't do that, and I don't think that he doesn't do that. I'm just saying in this song particularly, he didn't do it. But I think that's where the play cold, get the dry goes from, because sometimes he just be doing his own shit.
It says like everything always has an ending and always has a meaning and a point. That's not true. That's not life. I gave you life in two ways. You could look at it in so ways. In certain things, I saw it as a great achievement when I was a kid. And now when you read it backwards, it doesn't seem that way. It's very simple to me. And I be hating when I see people in the comments talking about,
too.
Well,
but they gonna have that
Nas's Rewind. And they also were saying like, you guys didn't mention this was like Nas's Rewind. I'm like, we assume the class has done the prior reading.
I'm also learning that I can't assume. And sometimes I know and sometimes I don't. Like I will never lie to my audience and be like, yeah. Sometimes I catch it right away, or sometimes I just flat out don't know and I figure it out later, or somebody tells me or leaves a comment and say, bro, you didn't get that. And I'll be like, bet, cool, now I know. But like if you know something and you don't say it, like personally as a creator, like if I know something and I don't say it, it gets implied that like I don't know, or these like King Green and Teray, you think that they didn't know that? That's like, if you didn't think they didn't know that, like, come on, bro.
This is Rap Latte. We don't like, we're just talking in now. We hope that the people watch this are part of the hip hop community or get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? We're looking at words all day. You need to get your shit together, guys. Did you give him the syllabus? You didn't give him the syllabus. That's the problem.
I thought they knew. I didn't know we had to spell
but then
it all
also,
out.
like, I also think that it becomes a point where, and I love to learn. Like, I'm never gonna change. Some people feel the need to tell you just because they know, right? And that's totally fine. But it doesn't mean that I didn't know, or it doesn't mean that these guys didn't know. So continue to teach people, because sometimes, you know, sometimes the person doesn't know and you are educating them.
It's like, what are we doing? But anyways, yeah. But what do you think? We could round that off.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I don't see evidence for a battle or a beef or anything. I need to see more. In anything, I would need to see more than the absence of something. They haven't made music, ergo, they're like.
I need more than the absence of something. Just because that's not there doesn't mean that there's. Ooh, I like that.
But we got to know something. I need a little bit more evidence in that to go with you. I understand you want to do conspiracy theory logic, but the absence of something doesn't mean the presence of something else that you choose to put in its place.
That's very much a conspiracy.
I understand the way you're reading it, and I my ear perked up when Joe was like, whatever he was saying, he's been wondering if there's been a problem for a long time. But to explain it the way you're like, just there are no kings in this, right? So I'm coming into the game to become a king myself, but. The whole notion of Cole has become like, can he say he's number one? He's like, I'm beyond that. I'm spitting my shit.
Yeah, I think that piece is something that I'm realizing too, is when he said, they stripped me of my spot and now I'm finally free, my nigga. To me, and I know people hate that though. Like I know people hate it, but it's said and it's like, because I didn't behave in the way that y'all think I should behave, I'm on the outs. He's accepting I'm on the outs. I'm on the outs. I'm finally free. I don't have to live up to your guys' whatever you think I should be. That's me thinking the way Cole is saying, right? So I think he's kind of accepted that. And I don't think people think that he's accepted it because they're like, you can't rap like this. You can't do that. And it's like, he's like, watch me. Watch me. There are people that still rock with me. And I think that's what he's saying.
And you love it, you don't, whatever.
Right.
But you want to rank me or compete with other people. Like, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm just here to be the best artist.
I don't think. The thing is, I think he still wants to be seen as a viable competitor. The problem is, and this was an issue that I even had, and I've stood on it and said, we know you're a competitor, but you can't have an opportunity to compete and then not compete and be upset that people don't rock with you the same way, right? Like, so I'm very well, as a Cole fan, okay? As a Cole fan, am very aware of that. But I think he's acknowledging, like, okay, I'm a viable competitor, but I'm not jumping through the hoops that y'all want me to jump through. I'm not doing it that way. I'm a viable competitor, but I'm not gonna jump through those same hoops. And I'm always gonna be a competitor. You can't take away what I've brought here and what I've done, but in doing that, you're gonna alienate so many raw hip hop fans, and I'm very well aware of that. And I understand why people have chosen to say, you know what, I'm off Cole.
I can be.
I don't know if he's saying that's not what I'm here to do. It's more so of being disillusioned. Let's put that. It's like, because that's what you came in to do, and you want that respect. But I'm like, oh, wait a minute, this can't even happen, and do I even want that for myself? The last thing I want to say, and we're gonna end this way. In this, people think that he was saying that in this verse where he says, oh, verse of the year, they're saying that he's still saying that he's the best or whatever. No, he's just recounting a time period, Johnny P's Caddy, where people were giving him that credit and making him that guy.
And that's the piece I feel like people are just not seeing. So, yeah.
And he is just recalling that time period.
Fact.
But your rap literacy needs to step up, guys.
Facts.
Step it up.
Rap literacy does need to step up. And if you don't know, completely understand. But if you have the full knowledge of everything in the past, you've been here, you've listened to the records, you've heard all the records, and then you still are making these kind of like statements, then you're choosing not to be rap literate.
Through the prior knowledge. Goodbye.
All right, man. Let me know what y'all think about that, man. Y'all know, like I said, as a Cole fan, y'all know I'm a Cole fan, but that doesn't mean I'm a blind Cole fan. I'm not a blind Cole fan. I completely understand and see why people don't rock with him. Like, I totally understand. I'm not a blind Cole fan. The same way I'm not a blind Kendrick fan. Like, I'm a Kendrick fan to the fullest. Some people would just be way too invested, and like, I'm a fan, but I think the level of energy invested becomes unhealthy in some cases for all fan bases. The Drake fans Nicki fans probably the worst for their level of investment. Drake is pretty bad. Let me know how y'all feel about it in the comments, man. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I will see y'all in the next one. I'm out. Peace.